birds were birds, parrots were parrots when we were proto-mammals, these little tiny mouse-like or gopher-like things running around.
Their intelligence can be equated to that of a small child.
They have the largest brain to their vertebrae of any other species on the planet.
They're extraordinary. They can speak without vocal cords.
Very special in the animal kingdom.
What other creature can speak our language?
They learn things very quickly.
These are not animals that do well just sitting on a perch all the time.
They require an enormous amount of enrichment and nutrition and interaction.
They're just go, 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 never stop.
They're like little people. They're like little children.
They are as close to living with aliens as you can live with on this planet.
If I were God for 5 minutes, I would remove two things that parrots have. I would remove their beauty, and I would remove their ability to speak. Because 99% of the people that get parrots get them because they're beautiful or because they think it's going to talk. And those are two very important things that do not counterbalance how irritating parrots can be to live with. Birds are very territorial creatures. So they can get very territorial about their cages. People don't understand that. They think because the animal was born in captivity that automatically makes them domesticated, when all it means is it's domestic bred.
It's like taking a child that is able-bodied and forcing it to live in a wheelchair and never allowing the child to walk. And we wonder why they have neurotic behaviors.
You got me. You got me. You got me.
There are so many parrots that people buy on a whim without really understanding how much work they take or how noisy they might be, how much destruction they can wreck in your house, and then they give them up. So it seemed to me, with all the birds that are out there looking for homes, that it would be a good idea to adopt one rather than buy one from a pet store. Oh, you want to go inside? I started by putting in an application to adopt and foster a parrot, and that's Lady Scarlet came. Anyone who adopts a parrot from Phoenix Landing has to go to some basic care classes.
She doesn't want to let go of this positive experience. No, wait, don't hand it to her until you're ready, right? All your props. Phoenix Landing was founded in April 2000. The mission is to help parrots, helping parrots, that's our motto, which includes adoption, education. Birds come to us from the best of situations and the worst of situations. They come from former breeders or former sanctuaries to places where they have lived 20, 30 years in a well-loved home. They come with absolutely nothing, not even a carrier or a perch, to a truck full of really wonderful things. So again, they need help from all kinds of situations from all over the country, and I fear it's becoming probably of an epidemic proportion soon. We're just saturated here in the Washington, D.C. area. We're saturated.
Lady Scarlet, Coconut, is a scarlet macaw. She's going to be going on about 6 this year. And she was relinquished when the family she was with got into all sorts of financial trouble. When she came to Phoenix Landing, she bit most of her feathers off and looked like a little gray fur ball. She came to our house in February of 2005 and really has grown a lot since then. Her feathers have come in. She still bites a little bit, She's learned to eat proper food for a macaw instead of the seed diet she was on. She's, quite an active parrot.
In some issues, birds are very nervous and they start damaging feathers as a comfort behavior probably. And if that stress that created the behavior isn't resolved, then the behavior is going to stay in place. And then we frequently see it to become a habit. People will, I ask them, what do you do when you see your bird pluck? And they usually say, well, I go pick him up or I yell at him. So the behavior is being reinforced. So the behavior is going to be continuing. And it's unfortunately very common because humans encourage it.
This is Elvis. He's a scarlet macaw. He's probably 15, 20 years old or more. Got a call from Phoenix Landing. They knew we were interested in a scarlet. And so Debbie Russell from Phoenix Landing called us and said, I just got a call from a lady in Upper Marlboro who was going to sell the bird through the penny saver. And we're foster parents for the bird to, kind of rehab him, that he can go into another loving home, somebody that would take care of him the right way. The house was where the bird was caged was very small when we got there. It was cluttered with 10-year-old dusty, dirty toys. And Bo had a Elizabethan collar. The people wouldn't even get the bird out of the cage. So it hasn't, but pretty much the bird hadn't moved from that perch in like 3 years that they had it there. And we don't know what situation it was in before or its past life. We don't know any of its history. We only knew 3 years with them sitting on that one perch. When we got him out of the cage, I got bit. Finally got him out of the cage, and I asked the people to get some scissors, and we immediately cut the collar off because he couldn't walk. He couldn't step up onto me. He tried, but he was like, he hadn't moved. He had no coordination. All he does now is 100% better. And he plays and he walks around on the playpen downstairs. So just, time and love and a little patience.
This one's Butterball, and he's Magoo.
Well, these particular birds were going to be out of a home, and I love birds. We have birds of our own over and above the foster birds. And these guys they all have their own personality and their own needs, just like humans do, and we just love them.
I wish that I had thought about adoption. I didn't even think. I mean, I can't believe I didn't think about adoption when I went out and got my Phoenix. I have the utmost patience for everybody and all their mistakes because I have made every single one of those mistakes.
You are so silly. It's like a repetitive behavior there, parrot.
Phoenix is a green-winged macaw. It's part of one of our logo, and I bought Phoenix not understanding what a macaw was. I'm a highly educated person. I had a very successful professional career, but I went out and bought the red one, okay? And I knew absolutely nothing about what that meant. I got her home and realized that I had made a really serious decision, and I needed to take responsibility. It makes me want to cry. I needed to, sorry, it really does make me cry. That I needed to be responsible for her for decades.
I'm one of the only people I know that have the advantage of having a parrot that's probably in my same age range. So I always joke about the fact that she and I are going down to the wire together. And she's promised me that she will outlive me. She better do that, because it's not going to be a good thing for me if she decides to die first. Wait. Wait is not a word that is in a parrot's vocabulary. Sam is a blue and gold macaw. She is a South American bird. She's quite old. We guess she's probably in her 60s. She's been in captivity for a minimum of about 47 to 50 years. So she's been around with humans for a long time. She was born in the wild, because we weren't breeding birds like her for the pet trade that many years ago. She's had a very gradual feather loss over the years that the vets assume might be like male pattern baldness. Most of these birds don't live their full lifespan in captivity. There's certainly some birds that live to be over 100, but that's like there's some humans that live to be over 100. Doesn't mean we're all going to. This is not an animal that makes compromises to adapt to living with me. I need to make the compromises, and most people are not ready to make compromises. Most people don't, or a huge percentage of people do not prove to be successful owners of dogs. And dogs are the easiest animal on this planet to deal with and to train.
We currently have 500 birds here, and they range from finches and little budgies all the way up to giant macaws. We really want to be the last stop on the merry-go-round. We want to be the place that stands between euthanasia for handicapped birds and elderly birds and plucked birds and aggressive birds. We want to be the last stop, and we want to be able to save as many lives as possible. Now, we have birds in here who've come from all different sorts of situations. BJ over there in the corner was in a 1 foot by 1 foot cage for 17 years. And he's looking at his bandaging right now. He self-mutilates, and he'll rip up his bandage and we'll just rebandage him to keep from self-mutilating. I get telephone calls regarding about 1,000 to 1,500 birds a year that need rehoming. There are maybe 100 to 150, about 10%, that really need to go into sanctuary, that need to be retired. But unfortunately, we can only take in 30 or 40 a year and maintain a sustainable growth. Currently, we have a full-time staff of 8. They're doing it because they really want to be here and really care for the animals. They put in volunteer time as well. There's always satisfaction in being able to give homeless animals lives. Another one of our success stories is a bird named Skippy. And Skippy lives in the handicapped room in our flock of handicapped cockatoos. A bipolar person burned him with cigarettes, held him down and burned him with cigarettes. And he was flapping his wings so hard that he shattered his wings. Well, a woman was able to rescue him and nursed him for the next year. And when he first came in, he absolutely hated men. He was terrified of men. He loves women. Absolutely loves women. He will look at women and he will kind of look over his shoulder and go, "Skippy, kiss? Skippy, kiss, kiss?" It's Skippy kiss, yeah. It's a Skippy kiss. With men, he would launch himself at men and bite them and just hang on to them. And he's come around a long way. Men can now go into that room. They've got to kind of keep an eye on him. But once he gets to know men, he doesn't fully trust them, but he doesn't launch anymore. And he seems a lot calmer. And the biggest problem with Skippy right now is if you're a woman and he jumps onto you and wants to be cuddled and kissed, and is getting rid of him. Because it's like, okay. This is Casey. Hi, Case. Hi, Case. Casey came in about 8 years ago or 7 years ago, and he had been used as a football by some teenage boys. In other words, he had literally been thrown around and kicked around, and as a result, he is missing this portion of his wing. A bird's wing is very much like our arm, with the flight feathers growing on this part, and then the secondary flights here, and then just very short feathers back in here. So if a bird is missing this joint, they can't fly. But he loves being outside with other grays. I think he's courting her. Oh, is this love? Casey, are we falling in love? Yeah. Is that going to be your girl? Yes. In order to do everything that we want to do, which is build enough aviaries so that when the baby boomers really start needing to give us their birds, we want to build about another 12 or 13 aviaries over the next 15 years. We're talking about multi-million dollars worth of infrastructure development. So let me show you the first of our real aviaries here. Hello. We have over 25 grays in here. This little bird over here, her name is Quasi, and we did not name her. She has extreme scoliosis. She was found flying around in the Phoenix metro area, and she got picked up, brought to our lost and found up in Phoenix, and she told us that her name was Quasi, as in Quasimodo. And she's doing great. She's been with us for quite a while now. How you doing, sweetheart? Can I give you a squishy? Oh no, with the camera. It's a scary thing with the camera, huh? Hi. Our vet says that she has the worst scoliosis he's ever seen in a bird that can fly. We're dealing with a species of animal that, as my vet says, is a flying machine. These birds are designed to fly. They're designed to fly great distances in order to be healthy, in order to forage, in order to make friends and be sociable. And we take these animals and we literally handicap them physically and emotionally by keeping them in isolation and by not allowing them to fly. We try to make them into pets when they're wildlife. And that doesn't mean that a lot of them don't adjust. These are extraordinarily intelligent animals, and as a result, they'll adjust to circumstance. But it isn't necessarily in their best interest.
The mission of the Parrot Garden is to see a day when there are no more homeless parrots, because as parrots are the third most popular pet in the country, there are a lot of birds that end up homeless.
A lot of birds that we get in here and other rescues get in, people will label them as mean birds, aggressive birds, all these different things. And we get them in here and we give them a good diet, we give them regular showers, you enrich their environment, you start doing a lot of these different things and you find out that these birds are the sweetest birds out there. Do I think they can all be rehabbed? My answer to that is yes, but it's not an easy answer. Sometimes rehabbing a bird is not actually making it more of a pet. Sometimes rehabbing a bird is helping the bird realize that it's a bird and helping it gain some independence, because some birds, they want to be with people all the time and they don't feel comfortable when they're not with people, and it leads into a lot of other behavior issues.
We would plan to, in the future, to have large flight aviaries where birds can go in groups and fly back and forth together and regain that sense of their birdness. It's wonderful to see parrots fly free. It's really awesome. And the truth is, there are places in the country that you can do that with them. There are programs that you can learn to fly your bird free.
You know, flight in general is a very, very important part of a bird's life. And it's not just emotionally important, it's physically important. A bird's body, a bird like a parrot like this anyway, there are parts of their lungs, their air sacs, that don't even function unless they are in flight. All right. Come on, Siren. Come here. We got Calico coming in. That's nice.
We are today going to take the parrots out for a little hike and slash fly, if you want to call it that. Going to go up Castle Rock, the base camp of Castle Rock, here in Moab, Utah area. And the birds are going to kind of fly along and hike along with us. Sometimes they'll be perched on us, sometimes they'll be perched on trees.
Good bird. Very nice. Come here.
people have parrots in cages and keep them there all the time, which I used to do as well. And when you keep them caged or housed all the time, to some degree you're a jailer. You know, really, you let them out on your schedule and so forth. And to some degree I still let them out on my schedule. But with free flight, now I get to turn them loose. They get to have the opportunity to go do their own thing, fly around, and decide whether or not they actually want to come back. It changes the whole relationship. You know, you can train them to come when called very well, but as soon as you start giving them some freedom to where they can make up their own mind, and once they get in the top of a tree, they have freedom. They don't have to come down. It doesn't take them long to figure that out. So it can take them a little while to learn that coming in at night is probably the best thing in their interest. This is a behavior that is very strong on attention to detail and focus. You really have to be able to focus on the bird's behavior and have good observation skills. I've watched my parrots outfly hawk attacks over 30 times at this point. So, you know, yeah, there are aspects to it that are challenging, and to some degree it's controversial because of some of those.
Is really when you're starting a new bird and they're just learning to fly, and they do these maneuvers, flying maneuvers instinctively, and you imagine when they have never done it before and they've only spent their lives as such clumsy babies, and to suddenly be able to just slip off the cliff into the air.
This is actually just one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life. I've done a lot of fun stuff, and bringing the birds out here in this kind of environment, to be able to go for a hike with them, to be able to fly them off of cliffs or up canyons, has been the coolest thing I have ever done, without any question about that. All right, Buckle. I love this place. Anyway, gonna go farther.
There's a part of me that feels like there has to be a really strong voice for these creatures out there, or they're the ones that suffer. I think we can look at a bird sometimes and say, this bird does look happy. You can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their posture, you can see it in many different ways. We just need to take care of what we have here.
There are 7.5 million birds in baby boomer homes right now. Even if only half of those birds outlive their caregiver's ability to caretake them, there just isn't going to be enough place for them unless people really start acting now and ensure their safety.
They are in many ways like your children because they are in captivity, and we've made this perfectly capable, independent living being now dependent upon us for its welfare and its survival.
There is no home or no cage that's grand enough, big enough to replace what or duplicate what they were born to be able to do in the world, and that's flying free.